Hello guys and welcome back to Gas Kings and this video, forgotten supercars of the 1970s. Granted, some of you may already know the cars in this video and they may be classics in your eyes, but obviously as the younger generation are coming through, maybe some of these cars are getting forgotten about, or maybe they didn't even know about them at all, so hence this video, forgotten supercars of the 1970s. Enjoy it! Right, so first up from this era is my favourite, the Lamborghini Miura. Now the Miura was the rockstar supercar of the 1970s, which is exactly what Ferruccio Lamborghini set out to do to overshadow Ferrari. It's a mid-engine 4-litre V12 giving out more than 385 brake horsepower and a top speed of 186 miles per hour. Only 148 examples were made and have had legendary owners over the years, such as Frank Sinatra, Miles Davis, Elton John, Rod Stewart, and also the Shah of Iran. The Miura was built between 1968 and 1971, and you could have had one of these back in the day for $21,000. Next up is the Maserati Bora. Now the Maserati Bora was a 320 horsepower V8 capable of 171 miles per hour. It shared the same drivetrain element as the Ford GT40 and was produced between 1971 and 1978. Most supercars of the 1970s offered little footroom and no provision for luggage, but the Bora had a full-size trunk in the front of the vehicle, good leg space, and otherwise been known as much more civilising comforts from its competitors. The Bora used dual-pane glass separating the cabin from the engine compartment, greatly decreasing the engine noise in the cabin and increasing the comfort level for the driver. 564 Boras were made and would have cost you $25,000 back in the 1970s. Next is another one of my favourite supercars from the 1970s, the Lamborghini Countach. Lamborghini had a really good run with the Countach and produced the V12 supercar between 1974 and 1990. It has a sexy wedge-shaped design which would go on set the standard of what a supercar was meant to look like and has inspiration in the modern supercars that we know and love today. The Countach was made by the same design team that created the Miura. It was wide, it was low and pushed the passenger compartment forward to accommodate the larger V12 engine. The word Countach is an exclamation of astonishment in the local Italian language, generally used by men on seeing an extremely beautiful woman. An original Countach back in the 1970s would have cost you around $52,000.
The LP 400 Countach was the successor of the Miura. I remember when we seen the car first time, the model in wood, we almost didn't believe that it was possible to bring this car on the road one day.
Here is the rare 1973 Lancia Stratos HF captured in the wild by MDK Supercars in Monaco. The shape of the Stratos came from the future but was still pure 1970s. The Lancia Stratos HF, widely and more simply known as the Lancia Stratos, is a sports car and rally car made by Italian car manufacturer Lancia. The HF stands for high fidelity and it was a very successful rally car, winning the World Rally Championships in 1974, 75 and 76. It had the same basic engine found in the early Ferrari Dinos and was built between 1973 and 1979. Next up is the Maserati Khamsin. This bizarre creation came out while Citroën was still in charge of Lamborghini, albeit only for a very short period of time, and was produced between 1974 and 1982, with only 420 ever been made. This Italian V8 produced 320 brake horsepower and had such unique styling for the 70s with its transparent tail, floating taillights and its prominent wedge shape. Get this, it originally sold in the 1970s for an RRP price of $17,000. This is the Lamborghini Jarama. The Jarama was the last front-engine V12 GT to be launched by the factory at Geneva since March 1970 and had a 3.9-litre engine. In keeping with the tradition of naming Lamborghinis after bullfighting, Ferruccio named the Jarama from a district of north of Madrid, Spain, well known for its breeding fighting bulls. By coincidence, it's also the same name of a popular Spanish racing track. The GTS was the upgraded Jarama, and it also upped its output to 365 brake horsepower. There were also a few minor body modifications, redesigned interior dashboard, power-assisted steering, removable roof panels, and automatic transmission became available as an option. A total of 328 Jaramas were built in the 1970s. Here is the magnificent Ferrari 512 BB. The 365 GT4 BB was updated as the BB 512 in 1976. The 512 Ferrari Berlinetta Boxer, or BB for short, came with a 5-litre V12 engine, hence the 512. The engine was positioned behind the driver and had an exquisitely proportioned body, first bulging over the front wheels before tapering down to a point featuring those big orange indicators. The BB 512 just oozes sex appeal. It could do 0 to 60 in just 4.9 seconds, 355 brake horsepower and a top speed of 188 miles per hour. The original RRP for this in the 1970s was $75,000. This is the 1970 Aston Martin DBS Vantage. The DBS was Britain's answer to the Mustang. It had a 4-litre engine initially, with the extra weight of a new 4-seater car slowing it down compared to its sibling, as Aston focused more on luxury equipment and long-legged high-speed cruising than out-and-out performance. It then got upgraded to a 5.3-litre V8 engine, increasing output to around 315 brake horsepower and urging the car to nearly 160 miles per hour and 0 to 60 in just 5.9 seconds. It had a fastback rear end and squared off front grille, which was a new design for Aston, but classic touches like the bonnet scoop, wire wheels and side vents were retained for that classic Aston look. The DBS was the last car to be built under David Brown's control. 402 DBS V8s were built before the model was phased out in favour of the Aston Martin V8. And that is it, guys. That is the video, Forgotten Supercars of the 1970s. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below what your favourite car was from the 1970s era. And also, if you think I've actually forgotten any cars from the 1970s which you think should have been in this video, let me know in the comments below. Give the video the big thumbs up and subscribe if you've not done so already. So until next time, guys, bye-bye!